Hey Sped, love this lesson. Can you teach us how to play a cool version of When the Levee Breaks? That song is badass. I agree. I'll see what I can do about that. This book again, eh? Well, got a little story for you. On the guitar side of When the Levee Breaks, Jimmy Page would claim he had been working on this riff since before Bonham asserted himself on his Ludwig kit. Page plays Bottleneck on his Fender Electric, in the right-hand channel, in open G tuning, DGD, GBD. But on the record, the key isn't G, it's F. The reason? In quotes. It sounds lower because we slowed down the track to make everything sound more intense, reveals Jimmy Page. That's also part of what makes the track sound so huge. John Paul Jones accompanies him on his jazz bass, this tuning also down a tone, the effect of which is to emphasise Bonham's punch. Right, a few things I want to talk about before we get stuck into the lesson. The first is the tuning. So, as you heard, the original was recorded in open G and then slowed down to sound like F, a tone below. Now, we don't have the ability to play into a tape machine and slow it down as we're playing. That would be ridiculous. So we're going to be in open F tuning, the tuning of FAC, F-A-C. So our low E string is going to go up a semitone to F. Our A is going to stay the same. Our D is going to go down a tone to C. G is going to go down a tone to F. The B down a tone to A. And then the high E is going to go all the way down to a C. F major triads, 2 in a row. Another thing I want to mention is this may look like I'm on my neck pickup, but I'm not. I'm actually on my bridge pickup. It's just that I plan on changing these pickups, and I was doing some under the hood investigation. And when I put the switch back, I put it the wrong way around. Now, no judgments, no trolling, but I'd rather you know that than think, wow, he's got an exceptionally bright neck pickup. And the final thing I know that you're all asking is he going to play it with a slide? And the answer is absolutely not. I am terrible at slide. I never picked it up as a kid, and I'm not going to try and teach it myself now to try and teach you, because that would be a cop-out. So this is going to be no messing around. We're going to get very, very, very close to the track. Well, I think so anyway. And we ain't using a slide. If you want to use a slide, use a slide. I'm teaching you the notes. You can just slide into them. Let's start by breaking down the main badass riff. I'm going to refer to the strings as E, A, D, G, B, E, because otherwise you'll get really confused. I did the same thing for the Rain song. I start with my index finger barring across the 3rd fret of the D and the G. I do a downstroke and then pull off that finger to the 2 open strings. Then I play those 2 open strings, D, G, down, up. As I'm playing those open strings, I put this power chord shape on the top two strings. It's index finger on the 3rd fret of the B and pinky on the 5th fret of the high E. And then I strum down, also catching that open G. I can hear that high power chord kind of hanging out the right side of the mix or the headphones. After we've hit that chord, we then hit the D, G open again, down, up, the same as before. We then go back to that index finger barring across the 3rd fret of the D and the G. And we're going to do the same pull off, but we're going to hit an open D string straight after. And you're going to do it twice in a row. Then we take the 3rd finger to the 5th fret of those two strings and finish there. And then you can practice cycling it around slow. There's a couple of cool little variations to that main riff, that cycle around. So let's take a look at the first one. It's literally one extra note at the end. So when we land on that 5th fret bar, instead of just picking down, we're going to pick down, up, D, G. And then it goes back to the start again. It adds an extra little bit of Jimmy flavour to the end of the riff. And the other variation is just simplifying that first bit that we did. It goes like this. All we're doing there is getting rid of the pull off and just repeating that first bit. So you already know it. You've just got to kind of like chop it in half and loop it. Okay, so here's how we cycle those riffs around. I'm going to play the first one, then the second one with the extra little note at the end, then the first one again, then the second one again with the extra little note at the end. Then we're going to play the third one I showed you. It's kind of like the first one chopped in half, 3 times in a row. But when we exit that, we're going to go into the second half of the second one that I showed you from the pull off with the extra little note at the end, then the first one again. Okay? Have you got that? If you've not got that, consider checking out the tab on my Patreon. Here we go. I'll go through it and I'll talk intermittently. First riff. Second riff. First one again. Second one. Third one, which is the first one chopped in half 3 times. And then the second half of the second one from the pull off. And then the first one again. Right, so for this section, honestly, I had it on repeat for like 45 minutes non-stop, just pressing the headphone into the side of my head, like, what is he doing? And I settled on this. I feel like it rings out the same way that I can hear the guitar ringing out on the track. So I'm going with my ear. First 2 shapes, dead easy. Index finger barring across the 8th fret of the G, B, E. And then you're going to slide that up to the 10th fret. Okay? And the rhythm. Down, down, up, down, down, up. And you slide into the first one, then the second one. If you want to give it the same kind of feeling as the slide, just kind of rock that index finger back and forth to give it some vibrato. So for these next two shapes, I want you to have your second finger on the 7th fret of the G, third finger on the 8th fret of the B. Prep the index finger on the 6th fret of the B, because we're about to play that note. So we're going to pick the G and the B down, and then take the third finger off and pick the G and the B up. Put the third finger back on, pick down, and then catch the open E on an upstroke. Those two little chord shapes that I showed you at the end there are why I was repeating the track loads, because I couldn't figure out what I could hear. And I feel like when you're fretting notes higher up the fretboard and then the note you want is an open string, it's not an immediate go-to. You're usually trying to find things in close proximity. And I was like, whoa, he's not doing that, is he? But that sounds like what's on the record to me. Two options from here. You can either pause, go back to the main riff, or we can go into the next section. So here I'm simply hybrid picking down on the open G with the pick, and then I use the third finger for the high E. I bar the top three strings on the 12th fret and I pick up, down. Hybrid pick again. 7th fret. Hybrid pick again. 5th fret. And then I come up very choppy, staccato, 7, 10, 12. And repeat. What about that glorious high-pitched slide line that goes over the top? Well, I figured out a way to play it with bends. Doesn't sound as good, but we chucked the slide in the corner, didn't we? And I can't find it. Thank God. So I do this. It's so funny because the string tension is so low, you don't have to bend much at all to go a whole step. It's actually kind of really fun, challenging all at the same time. So it'll get you through all the slide parts without the slide. Start by bending the 13th fret of the B up and down a whole step, and then pull off to the fret behind, the 12, and then bend the 13 back up with a bit of vibrato. Do the exact same lick again from the 12th fret of the G. And then move it down to the 10th fret of the G. I then slide very quickly into the 10th fret of the B with the index, 13th fret, and then bend that up. I try to incorporate slides and bends because it will replicate the sound of a slide more. The other variation so it's that same 13th fret, bend up, down, pull off back to 12, but I'm using second and first finger this time. So I can slide the third finger up to the 17 on the high E. Back down to the 13 again for the bend and the pull off. But this time my last note is going to be the 14th fret of the G. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did the first time, sliding all the way up to the 17. This time come back to the 15. Hit it twice. I like to do index finger and then a quick finger swap for the same note because we're going to bend that up a tone. So I've had approximately 100 requests for a lesson on When the Levee Breaks. People wanted a simple, decent version that sounded like the track without too much messing around. Open F, ditched the slide, and the rest is history. As always, if you want the tab for this lesson, you can find that on my Patreon. Hello to all my patrons, new and old. And hello to all the brand new subscribers that have headed over to the channel this month. It's been a big month, it's been amazing, and I've loved reading every single one of your comments and all of your stories of Zeppelin discovery way back when. If I didn't reply to you, I'm sorry. I do my best to try and reply to as many people as I can, but inevitably sometimes I miss the odd one. Speaking of subscribers and comments, whilst you're here, go ahead and hit like on this video, hit subscribe if you've not already, and whack the bell next to it to be notified the very next time I upload a video. And leave me a scrumptious comment down below. Tell me everything that you liked about this video. Tell me something that you didn't like about this video. I probably won't reply to that one, probably just remove it. You know the drill. But yeah, thanks for watching and learning with me today, and I'll see you soon. Ooh. What is that? Sorry, there's something in my brew, it's horrible. Ooh.